Thank you so much for joining us for today's webinar, Migration Made Simple, Modernizing VMware Workloads with AWS. My name is Shaumik Ghosh. I'm Senior Assistant Editor with the Economic Times CIO and CISO. Now, ladies and gentlemen, almost exactly a year ago, Broadcom acquired VMware. VMware customers voiced concerns about potential decline in customer support, increased security risks, and substantial cost increase. Now, over the course of the last year, IT leaders have been looking for alternatives, and they found that migrating their VMware workloads to AWS not only overcomes those problems, it also brings additional benefits to the table. Benefits such as scalability, reducing on-prem data center costs, fostering agile innovation, and very importantly, improving security and resilience. Now, let me introduce you to two specialists who will share their expertise on how IT leaders and their teams must approach the journey to AWS. Let me welcome Jayant Mahale, specialist in AWS migration and modernization for Microsoft and VMware workloads at AWS. Jayant, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Right. We also have Pushpendra Kumar. He's the Associate Director, Cloud and Manager Hosting Services at Tata Communications. Pushpendra, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon, Shaumik. Thank you so much.
All right. Now, folks, I would recommend you can share your questions with us. We've got a Q&A box, and we'd be more than happy to have them addressed by the two specialists here. We also have polls for you along the way, so do engage with us with those polls. Your feedback is very important. And we also have a feedback form at the end, so do watch out for that as well. With that, can we have the first poll before we hand it over to Jayant? All right, so the first poll, would you be interested in migrating your VMware workloads to AWS through the Optimization and Licensing Assessment, OLA, program? So do share your feedback with us. We'd love to know what your thoughts are. Okay, if we've got enough feedback, can we close the poll and then we can have Jayant with his part of the presentation. All right.
Thank you, Shaumik. I will just share my screen. Do let me know when my screen is visible so that I can then talk about what is VMware migration and modernization all about. Let me know. Okay, thank you very much. So, thank you for this opportunity, Shaumik. And what we are going to talk about is, what are the changes done by Broadcom, specifically in terms of the options that customers are evaluating today. I'll talk about AWS, why AWS, and how AWS can help customers on their cloud journey, and then modernization. And when we talk about the modernization, I will talk about the different modernization pathways and the benefits associated with modernization on AWS. So to start with, somewhere in the month of November 2023, 1 year ago, Broadcom completed the acquisition of VMware, and after that they made a very slew of changes as such. One of the important changes is in terms of how customers on premises or cloud they would consume the VMware estate as such. So first and foremost, the erstwhile licenses used to be on the socket-based licenses by VMware. Broadcom, as part of the announcement, made all these erstwhile socket-based licenses as end of support. That means customers will not get any support on those socket-based license. Instead, they introduced the new mechanisms, which was subscription-based licensing policy. And instead of socket, they brought a core-based licensing policy. Moreover, what they combined multiple solution SKUs into the bouquet of the services. So they launched a VMware Cloud Foundation and a VMware vSphere Foundation as the bouquet of the services for taking the private data center offering or the cloud offering on the VMware platform. Because of that, first change was that there was suddenly the price increase because the perpetual licenses turn into the subscription. So the customers need to pay the subscription core based licensing for the bouquet of the services. And the impact was starting with 3x as high as 15x as well. So last 1 year, we have been talking to multiple customers, hundreds of customers for that matter, and they have expressed concerns saying that there's a sudden rise in this subscription price, and they are not able to showcase the substantial benefit of staying on VMware itself. And that's where the customers started looking out for options as such. And the options are not straightforward, and the customers were literally looking at the answers, and that's where we thought let's look at those options. First option is as simple as that, in terms of stay with the VMware, pay higher price. But the problem is that there is a long-term roadmap for VMware Cloud Foundation or VMware vSphere Foundation is not clear. I know it is not well established by Broadcom's. Few of the customers also reiterated that the support, what they were getting from VMware and the support what they are getting from Broadcom, there's a deterioration in terms of the support, right? So that's where the second option comes into the picture: remain on premises, move out of the VMware, move to the other comparable virtualization platform. That means move as VM from VMware to the other platforms like Red Hat, KVM, or Nutanix, or OpenShift by Red Hat again, or Hyper-V as such. But the criticality is in terms of the long-term perspective, as well as the functionalities that they were getting out of VMware, because VMware was, for that matter, is number one virtualization platform today with almost 82% market share in terms of the virtualization landscape, and all the other products are in catching up phase, and they are not there as such in terms of offering those functionality as of today. So if you look at the third option, actually is the best option what we recommend our customers to look at, which is more predictable, sustainable, and ensures maximum innovation. That means moving beyond the virtualization layer, going into building up the containerization platform, data lake platforms, or AI integrated AI platform as such. And that's where migrate and modernize to the public cloud comes into the picture. And therefore customers should stop worrying about virtualization patches, lifecycle management, and also but look at how the applications enhancements can help bring additional revenue to the organization. And that's where Gartner conducted a poll, and almost 73% of the existing VMware customer, they found out, were looking at the options. For that matter, they realize that the new applications that the customers are going to roll out will come on the native cloud platform itself. And with that, why AWS is very pertinent. We do have 18 years of experience in terms of helping millions of customers migrating out of their data center or co-located data centers or on-premises data centers to AWS. We do have 34 regions. More importantly, in India, we do have two different regions. One is in Mumbai and one is in Hyderabad. And within each region we do have three availability zones, and each of the availability zones are nothing but cluster of data centers. And within the region, all these three availability zones are separated by around 100 kilometer distance, so that customer gets the resiliency, and these are all connected with high bandwidth mesh network. And customers always ask me first and pertinent question about security: how secure is my cloud? You'll be surprised, we do have more than 300 plus security features and compliance guidelines adhered to. With coming to cloud, with AWS, we do have 200 plus services over and above just the virtualization landscape, which we will talk about with our EC2 offering. We do have more offerings on containers, or for that matter serverless platform, managed databases, managed AI, or for that matter building up a data lake so that you can get the business insights faster. And most important aspect is that from 2006, as such, we have done 134 price reduction. We have never increased the price. As we expand our global footprint as such, we have always passed on the benefits, economics benefit to our customer with our expansion. And that's where we take pride in terms of showcasing those price reductions from our inception itself. So typically, when you look at migration, I will talk about the migration tools that are available, programs that are available. But how does the migration and modernization of the application look like on AWS? So first and foremost, you will end up here at on our Amazon Elastic Cloud Compute, what we call it as Amazon EC2, which is exactly lift and shift. And we do have tools that ensures that you do have a seamless migration experience without much downtime, so that you do not face a lot of disruption in your migration journey. But once you are here, actually, the modernization journey starts, so that you can actually leverage cloud native services. And what are the advantages of cloud native services? You bring in availability, you bring in the resiliency, you bring in scalability, and innovation associated with that. So from having the monolith application on your virtual machine to containerization and building up a managed database platform, going to the complete serverless architecture, that means deploying your application as code. That's where you will leverage all these cloud benefits, and then your business can be very much agile, and you can actually get the highest possible return on investment on what you have made on the cloud. And when I talk to the customers who are operating on data centers, they typically come with the three important concerns, saying that I have my skills developed over the years on VMware. How can AWS help me in terms of rebuilding, or specifically enhancing my cloud skills? That's where our training and support program I will talk about. Second concern they raise is that we have never undertaken such migration, and how can AWS ensure minimal disruption? And that's where we do have tools and technology and services, and our partners like Tata Communication here, who can help you ensure that your migration is smooth. Third and most important aspect is that whenever I talk about the cloud, another impression they have is that cloud is costly. And I would like to prove with the AWS investments and the funding mechanisms, saying over 3 years, or look at the over 5 years, your migration and modernization roadmap. And I will provide you associated with TCO, and I can prove you over the 5 years cloud is actually having a lower TCO than your existing investment, or you are going to enhance your investment on premises. I can prove it to you. The TCO on AWS is going to be far, far less than what you will be spending on your data center itself. So first and foremost is training and support. We do have more than 600 plus on-demand courses. Apart from that, we do have also the instructor-led hands-on labs as well available. And apart from that, our partners can make a tailor-made program so that you can enhance your AWS skills, so that you can manage the day to operations. And how do you determine that I am very well skilled or my staff is very well skilled? And that's where the AWS certification comes into the picture as well. So we offer that service as well. Second is important aspect is that what are the tools that are available to ensure seamless migration service. So our partners use these tools, and they have the specialized for templates associated with individual customer environment, so that customers get a seamless experience when you are migrating the application as well as database workload from on premises to AWS. That ensures, this tool ensures that you have the minimal disruption in the business, and make sure that you leverage not only the migration capabilities but also build a framework for the modernization aspects of your applications as well. And look at the support what we have. You name the applications, like Oracle or Microsoft SharePoint or Apache. You name the databases, you name the operating system as well as the source information. We have complete certification available on the AWS. This is just the partial list as such. Second important concern, as I was talking, third important concerns as people talk about is the cost, right? But before we talk about the cost, I would like urge you to actually go for the complementary assessment, which is one of the assessment is called optimization licensing assessment. With this assessment, we will help you build a business case with the TCO estimation and how your cloud journey looks like in the year 1 to year 5, so that you have a complete visibility in terms of how your applications will look like and what are the benefits associated with that once you embark on the cloud transformation journey. One of the program I was talking about is Ola, optimization and licensing assessment. Many of the customers have invested into the commercial databases or commercial operating system like Windows Server or Oracle databases or MS SQL. How we can leverage your existing investments on AWS as such. That means you don't you we protect completely your licensing investment. We also do in terms of optimization. This tool help you in terms of optimizing your workload. Make sure that you pay on cloud only what you use the resources. So it optimizes the resources so that your TCO becomes a very lucrative as compared to a 5 year growth estimate that you may have on your data center as such. And with this Ola program, we have seen typically 36% average compute cost saving as versus the on premises. So once we have this particular TCO associated baked in for your specific workload, what we do is that we add the benefits in terms of the credits and the AWS investments coming into in tandem, so that we showcase a significant TCO saving associated with the cloud roadmap for the 5 years. And if you look at the typically what we have seen, we have showcased almost 1.7x more cost saving as compared to the on-premises investments as such. Uh, and if you look at what in compilation, what we do is that's where we have the three important migration and modernization phases. Assess is where we actually start with the discovery of your application. We start with assessment of your application. We understand the application dependencies, and we create the case for change. The second phase is where mobilize phase comes into the picture, wherein we put in the security and compliance guidelines. We ensure yes, your skill sets are enhanced so that you can start managing the AWS operations. We ensure the security and compliance guidelines are made by putting up a landing zone construct as well. And that's where we build a readiness through our experience of handling multiple millions of migration across last 17 years as such. And then the actual migration phase comes into the picture, wherein we accelerate transformation at scale, and that's where the data communications will play a major role, so that your applications are migrated from on premises to AWS, and build a case for modernization. Now, I have spoken about modernization. Typically, what does the modernization pathways I have spoken about in terms of containerization, in terms of managed DB? But what are those modernization perspectives that we look at, so that we showcase a total benefit in terms of agility, ensuring that your applications are scalable at global level. And just to give a perspective in terms of modernization is nothing but the process of progressively transforming your existing application and infrastructure landscape. So as I was telling you, you will land here when you actually do rehosting, that you come on the EC2 platform, you run your applications, web services, file services, as well as databases on our EC2. But as I was telling you, bring making sure that your monolith application actually is broken into the microservices, and ensuring that containerization process, be it on Kubernetes or be it on our ECS platform, which is our Docker based platform, both these platforms are completely managed offering from AWS, so that your CI/CD pipeline in terms of patching or in terms of code changes, you can do it faster. We also have the managed database service, which is called Amazon Relational Database Service, wherein you can bring your Oracle or MS SQL databases as it is, but you don't have to worry about the patching, backup, and availability services, because we offer those services as completely managed services. Then the factor as the modernization perspective comes into the picture, wherein we can help you moving out of shackles of your commercial operating system, as well as the databases. We help you in terms of moving from Windows platform to the Linux platform. So .NET complete, providing a complete license freedom from .NET to .NET Core, right? So that's where we can help you in terms of ensuring that you have a substantial license saving available on your application and a web platform. Also, we help customers ensuring that you can deploy your applications without worrying about the underlying infrastructure. That means application as code itself, so that you can, or we can offer you complete scalability on the global platform. And third important aspect is where we actually make sure your databases also come out of the commercial database shackle. That means we can ensure that your MS SQL as well as your Oracle licenses, you can actually have a complete license freedom, because we do have the example RDBMS databases called Amazon Aurora, which is again a managed database service, but completely open source. And that's where, when we talk about a migration as well as modernization, we ensure that you come on open source platforms, so that we ensure that you get a complete freedom at your disposal. And that's where I end my presentation, and that's where I will hand it over to Somik, because the next session is going to be very interesting, where Tata Communication, you will understand about the capabilities of Tata Communications and how they have helped customer leverage the AWS landscape to ensure that they get the business agility and reduce TCO over the 5 years. So I hand it over to Samik again for the next level of presentation.
All
Thank you
right.
very much.
Thank you so much, Jayant. Jayant, I'm just curious, what can customers do to sign up for Ola?
They need to just contact TCL, and that's where Pushpinder is going to talk about it. And it's a complimentary service. So
Mhm.
here they are not going to charge anything for this particular assessment, which is in-depth assessment, providing a complete overview over what is going to be the cloud transformation, not only the as a migration, but over the 5 years, wherein we can actually showcase the value of actually the cloud migration and modernization.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much for that, Jayant. All
My
right. With
pleasure.
that, let me invite Pushpendra again from Tata Communications. Now, Pushpendra, you've walked a lot of your customers through this migration journey. You've got firsthand experience. What are the pitfalls and some of the best practices that they can adopt? So, over to you. But before I hand it over, we have another poll for you. I request my team to quickly bring up the second poll question for the audience. And folks, we've got the two specialists out here, one from AWS, one from Datacom. So do share your questions with us. We'd be more than happy to have them addressed for you. All right. So the second poll question: are you considering switching from VMware to any other platform? So pretty much a simple answer: yes, no, or maybe. I was just curious, Jayant. There were some reports on the costs increasing by about 3 to 11x. Is that what you observed as well?
Yeah, we have over the last 1 year, I have must have spoken to almost 150, 160 customers as such. And
Right.
what I have seen is that they are in the range of 3x to 15x, the subscription cost increase as compared to what they were paying earlier as AMC cost to VMware. And surprisingly, many of these customers are nearer to the 15 to 11x to 15x category as such. And that's where they are really worried in terms of if such costs can be absorbed in terms of their IT budgets. Because if they are ready to invest into the technology, but then associated with that, what are those benefits that the Broadcom is bringing on table? And that's where
Right.
the major disconnect is. That's where customers are looking at the options as such.
All right. Yeah, that's got to be painful. All right. Thanks for that, Jayant. Pushpendra, over to you, please.
Thank you, Shamik. Thank you so much, Jayant. It was really, useful and insightful information that you have shared. So I would want to share my screen. Let me know once it is visible to you. All right. So, Jayant has clearly captured, and he has spoken about the challenges that enterprise customers like you are facing today, and what Amazon Web Services or AWS can support with in this situation. Just to optimize the cost, which is going to increase if we don't act on it, and we accept whatever the increment in the cost is going because of this recent engagement. So Tata Communications, we work very closely with our customers. We understand, Amazon Web Services or AWS infrastructure platform services, and we do have right set of people, services available, which can actually support the customers, for migrating those workloads from on-premises or some other cloud platforms to Amazon Web Service or AWS. So with this, I would start with the capability of Tata Communications. So we started, so we acquired BSNL, which is Videsh Sanchar Nigam Limited, in 2002, and that's where we, started our journey in this particular segment. Tata Communication is part of India's multi-billion-dollar, conglomerate, and a part of a prestigious Tata Group. So we started the network services, the undersea cable, the fibers in India, and the other connectivities, including MPLS, VPN connectivities, point-to-point connectivities, internet lease lines, and all. And then we started, adding other services also in the portfolio. We started data center services in 2008. We do have more than 14 data centers in India, where we were providing the co-location services, wherein the customers like you were, it was more of an on-premises solutions. We, started providing co-location when we were migrating or lifting and shifting that infrastructure in our data centers. And then, after 2008, organizations started moving towards the cloud services. And AWS is, the leader in that particular domain. And that's how our partnership with AWS established. So the partnership is signed, in the early phase when AWS started operations in India, and then we started working along with AWS in Indian market and started, provided infrastructure as well as the managed services to the customers like you. Along with this, we, currently we are advanced consulting partner of AWS. We do have competencies. If we talk about the migration service competency, if we talk about the storage service competency, or the direct connect delivery, so all these competencies are something that we have, we do have currently within Tata Communication. Also, AWS has awarded us, with some of the awards in recent past. AWS Consulting Partner for the year 2024. Indian Prospective League Best Conversion Winner in 2024. Along with this, 400 plus AWS accreditations. We do have 100 plus AWS certified professional within our organization. And here I'm talking about the subject matter experts who work very closely with customers just to provide the services like migration for them. We do have 67 plus active certifications within Tata Communication. We completed 200 plus cloud migrations recently, 300 plus managed services engagement that we are currently working on. So this is, how we want to give the confidence to customers like you that, we can be a right partner for the migration services that you might looking forward to as of now. Quickly, today the enterprises are re-looking at their infrastructure choices, the way Jayant was also mentioning, in his presentation, that people are looking for the infrastructure choices. After this particular thing which has happened recently, the cost is going too high, and that is how people are looking for the options or the solutions of such situation of such issues. That's where, we discussed it earlier also in some of the other engagements. When we work very closely with the customers or the SIs or some of the partners, we found the challenges that customers are facing today. They want a very good performance, but at the same time with an optimized cost. So that's one thing that we ensure that we provide the services on this. Business continuity and the service offerings, compatibility and interoperability, among their partners, vendors, and the internal stakeholders, for which customers need skill set and support and a partner who can actually provide the services and manage it on behalf of them. Tata Communication has, we have developed that practice within Tatacom, just to support the customers for the migration journey. Migration, if I talk about, it can be, the on-premises setup to be migrated, onto the cloud, because people are moving on the cloud. The applications are cloud-native applications today. So that's where we play the important role. Now, there are three aspects where Tata Communications work. It is related to the migration services. The first is advisory. deployment, and operations. And we work very closely with AWS to provide the services like compute group, databases that Jayant was talking about. Name the database. It can be MySQL, MS SQL, Oracle, or any other database that you are looking forward to. Storage, backups, disaster recovery, security and governance. On top of it, DevOps, FinOps, platform services. If you talk about any of the database, Kubernetes platform, the professional services that customers are looking forward to, which includes the FinOps services, when we optimize the infrastructure or the cost for the customer, we do the migration, and so on and so forth. So these are the services that we generally provide to our customers on AWS infrastructure. If we talk about the advisory part, so James was also talking about it. The cloud assessment is the most important thing. When we start having the conversation with the customer for the migration, we ensure that our subject matter experts sit with customer, and the subject matter experts, they do have the understanding of the application layer also. And we are seeing my level 3, level 5 certified organization. So we do have people who understand the application layer as well. So we discuss it with the customer. We do the end-to-end cloud assessment, the current workload that are running on premises or some other platform. And then we see the cloud readiness. We size the compute first time right. As Jayant was mentioning that, there are multiple options available within AWS. It can be the RI options for, 1 year, 3 year. It can be pay-per-use model, wherein, pay-per-hour billing is available just to, reduce the overall TCV or TCO that he was talking about. So we understand all that, and we when we design the architecture, we design the BOQ, we always ensure all those things. We analyze the network security also. We explore all the possible options which are required to optimize the price and creating the right solution for the customer. When we talk about the cloud migration, we definitely use all the tools that Jayant was talking about. We do understanding of that. We plan and the architecture, design. We ensure that app move group, are there, migration and cutover plan. Cutover is a very important aspect wherein, we work very closely with customer. We understand the requirement. Accordingly, we create the cutover plan. Configuration and normalization. Modernization is something that Jayant was, pointing out. So this is something that we work, on it. And then SecOps, CloudOps, and FinOps are the services that we offer to our customers. We ensure that the solution is optimized, and it has the complete control also, and it is absolutely as per the compliances or the guidelines that customers are sharing with us. If I talk about the cloud operations, all the dashboards, management, monitoring, compliances, reporting, we have developed an orchestration layer, a single pane of glass under which we provide the cloud operation services, which probably I'll cover it in subsequent slides. This is important, the 3-step migration approach. So the first thing is designing, right? So design consultations, access current digital, infra or estate, plan the best approach. We create that architecture, we discuss it with customer, and we once we get the buy-in from the customer, then we start the implementation part of it. So the second step is migration and deployment. Jayant has also covered some of the tools which are captured here also that we use for the migration, and we keep on adding the tools that AWS launches, and we ensure that whatever tool can help us for the migration, for minimum downtime or without any disruption, we always work in that particular direction. And then we start monitoring and management. Management services, if I talk about, we do have a lot of services that we offer to the customer. The service that we start with is the OS management, wherein we manage it up till OS layer, which includes the network management, which includes the firewall policies, firewall management, which includes the operating system, and all those things that we provide under our managed services. We can provide the database services, database management services as well at the same time. And whatever database that customers are using currently, we do have skill set to manage those databases, and accordingly we commit the SLAs to our customer. And since I already mentioned that these are the tools that we generally use for the migration approach. Now, if I talk about the TCX portal, the single pane of glass that we use for providing the monitoring and the managed services, it not only give you the insights of the infrastructure that you are using, it gives you the complete information, which includes all the activities, and alert notifications you can get the insights, inference, and it is an intelligent software which provide the activity and the automated actions. Access management, security management, incident management, reporting, so you can define what kind of reports that you would want to see on this. It also gives you a lot of recommendations. It is integrated with, the APIs are integrated with the AWS, and that's how we work jointly and provide those insights and, the information that customer is looking forward to. Provisioning management, change management, continuity management. So all this is something that our orchestration provide, that we give as a managed services to our customers. This is an important slide. Here we are going to talk about the architecture blueprint, right? So the TCX portal that I'm talking about, there are multiple layers. Since I already mentioned, it's a single pane of glass for the multi-cloud management. Why I'm talking about multi-cloud? Say, for example, if customer is using some on-premises kind of a workload, which is hosted in their own data center, and and then there's a journey, a cloud journey that customer is looking forward to, and we would want to migrate it in steps and stages. So what we generally do is we put our orchestration on the dedicated platform that customer is currently using, and then in step and stages we start migrating the workload from that dedicated environment to AWS infrastructure. And that is how this single pane of glass can provide the information of both the environments or the infrastructure under the single pane of glass. So which covers the resource management, which includes compute, database, virtual network, load balancer, connectivity, and so on and so forth. On top of it, there's a service management, costing, metering, accounting, all this is part of that. And the another thing is the service delivery, wherein the incidents, requests, change management, capacity, monitoring, and everything is included in this. Now, when we work on the migration approach, wherein we are going to migrate the workload from on-premises or any other platform to AWS, we ensure that there's a governance committee. It has to be there, and people from both the organization, from the customer side and from our side, which is Tata Communication, to ensure that we design it first time right and perfectly. And that is how and this the governance committee includes the top leaders also connected with each other, wherein the CIO and GMIT from the customer side, and from Tata Communication side, our delivery head, cloud ops head, and the account manager are working very closely with them. Then the other layer is wherein we ensure that the program governance team has to be there. From customer sides, we would want GMIT or senior manager IT, and from Tata Communication side, program manager, cloud specialist, and operation manager should be part of it. The third layer is technical delivery team, work on the ground. From customer side, it is the senior manager IT, or the team members who are working at that particular layer. They work very closely with program manager, operation manager, and domain lead. And once we create the team, just to meet the objectives which are mentioned on the left hand side, we ensure that day 0, day 1, and day 2, all these 3 things are a part of this complete program or the migration approach. And we work on a document which can talk about all end-to-end end-to-end objectives that we would want to meet, which includes the pre-sales, which includes the implementation phase, which includes the migration and post-migration. Once the infrastructure of the platform is delivered, customers started using it, then we provide the managed services on top of it. So this is what we ensure that the committee provides that result that we guys are working on. Some of the use cases which Tata Communication has worked with AWS, and we have closed some of the large deals. SAP implementation is really important, and today AWS plays a very important role for hosting the SAP workload, SAP HANA workload, and that's where we do have the skill set. Migration of SAP workload to AWS is something that we have done it in recent past. and we are managing that workload. We do have a COE team which is within Tata Communication, which is actually providing kind of basis support, and the application support. We are working the direction wherein we provide the ABAP and other support also for the SAP and workload, and we provide the managed services, security services, and the reporting for SAP implementation. If we talk about the disaster recovery, which most of the customers plan today, and they plan disaster recovery in a way that the cost should not go high. It should be, it can be a hot DR, it can be a warm DR, or the cold DR that customer would want to go ahead with. So we provide those services, and we manage it on AWS platform. End-to-end managed DR service is something that we provide. We ensure that if customer is looking forward to a sleeping DR, wherein all the compute will be on sleeping mode, if anything goes wrong with the primary side, we ensure that within the RTO, the DR side has to be up and running, and that's where we use a lot of AWS tools which are available for us to ensure seamless process, and without any impact on the application performance. We provide the disaster recovery services. Analytics and modernization is something. So AWS team, Jayant was talking about a lot of tools and services which are available there, and we do have people who understand those tools and work closely with customers to ensure that we are meeting the objective of customer in that particular thing. Now I will also want to discuss some of the customers' voice, some of the so I will start with the survey that IDC has conducted, and among 3-4 other providers, the large providers I'm talking about in Indian market and in other regions, a lot of customers rated us pretty well in these 4 parameters, which was the trustworthy, high quality services that Tata Communication provides. Migration, which is the most important thing, we provide the migration, as I mentioned earlier, without having any impact on the application performance. We ensure the cutover plan and all those things, with customer. The quality of service that we provide, the tools that we use to provide those services, AWS tools I'm talking about, and the tools that we ourselves have developed for the customers, that we provide. Performance, we ensure, there's performance. See, if I talk about the performance of infrastructure, it is the robust infrastructure or the platform services that AWS provides. On top of it, we provide the SLA for the managed services, and we, ensure that we provide the combined SLA to the customer. And that is how, we ensure that the performance of, be it infra or the managed services, has to be as per the customer requirement. Some of the success stories, as I was talking about the use cases, PT Engineering is an organization. They are into manufacturing segment, and they're from a manufacturing segment and a global renowned manufacturer of electrical steel laminations. So they were actually using the SAP application along with the HANA database on premises, wherein they were facing some of the challenges, which we understood. We worked very closely with them, and we migrated that workload from on-premises to AWS. The solution that we provide, which included the EC2 instances for the customer, CloudWatch, CloudTrail for Amazon EC2 instance monitoring, VPC, VPN connections. So the complete solution for all 3 environments, which includes the development environment, wherein the developers were actually keep on developing the SAP modules for the customer, the customized module. Then the QA environment, wherein they test that whatever that they are developing, they test it in the QA and testing environment, and then they move it on the production environment. And we provide all 3 kind of infrastructure for the customer. We ensure that the application layer is separate than the database layer, and all 3 environments are separate, and customer is getting the performance over there. So that's one use case that we've successfully migrated. It's a large deployment. Now the second use case that I would want to talk about is the media and entertainment organization, which is ABP. ABP is a part of ABP Group, and it's a news channel, and they have recently launched one app for their local customers based out of north and east part of India. wherein they would want, if they wanted to a scalable infrastructure or the platform wherein they can solve the purpose. Because when we were planning the infrastructure, we were sizing the infrastructure, it was really difficult to size it for next 3 year, 5 year, because even the customer was not aware about the users that might come and hit the application, at one point in time or on a daily basis. And that's how we utilize a lot of tools from AWS, and we provided the scalable infrastructure to the customer, which customer is enjoying today, and it is growing multifold for us and for the AWS, and customer are using the managed services from our side. Tata Click, Tata Click is one of the large organization within the Tata Group. It's an e-commerce portal or the platform delivering the premium fashion services, electronics, and lifestyle solutions. This is, and it was a very good experience when our team was working with Tata Click team to create infrastructure, because the size was very big. It's a huge size of infrastructure or the platform the customer was looking forward to. A lot of their partners, whom Tata Click was actually onboarding for serving the B2C customers or the retail customers. And that is how we created a tiger team within Tata Communication, who was sitting in Tata Click's office. We were covering all the points, all the steps and stages, and we have done a lot of innovation. We have tested a lot of things, and that's where AWS really supported us well, and a lot of tools. And we have gone through a lot of knowledge enablement session from AWS side, and we work very closely to ensure we create the infrastructure which can solve the purpose, and it should be scalable enough, wherein and there are a lot of programs that they run generally for the end customers, like Black Friday sale, or a lot of other programs that they run, and that's where the scaling comes in the picture. And we always ensure that the infrastructure is up and running, and for the end customers whenever they are placing any orders on this particular website, so or the application. So this is the another use case that we work on. Now I'll quickly cover our capabilities, or maybe the certifications, or the awards that we have recently won. If I talk about last 5 times in a row, we have got the India's Best Practice Award from Frost and Sullivan, Indian Managed Multi-Cloud Service Provider of the Year. So this is, we have won 5 times in a row. IDC, major player, ISG leader, and the important one is cloud, trusted cloud service provider award is something that we have won recently. So these are some of the awards that we have won recently, and this is what I wanted to talk about. Over to you, Souvik.
Hi, Pushpendra. Thank you so much for that presentation. And yeah, I mean, Mukesh ji, one of our attendees, had actually asked this question. A lot of our confidence comes from the quality and competency, and with that, the perception and conviction change. How can you demonstrate this? I think what Pushpendra just walked us through out here demonstrates pretty much their capabilities in helping companies with this transition. Now, let's have a look at the questions that we have from our audience here. Jayant, I would want to take the first question to you. Now, Jayant, when considering a migration to AWS or switching to any other platform, what are some of the key considerations that one should keep in mind to avoid any unexpected pitfalls? One of our attendees, Mr. Venkat Reddy, has actually pointed out that analysts like Gartner and Forrester say that 1/3 of cloud spend is being wasted globally. So one of your major pitfalls happens to be these unexpected cloud costs. What are some of the things that customers should be doing to avoid these kind of pitfalls?
Yeah. So what we do is that we do a detailed analysis of not only the existing application database landscape, but we also look at what is going to be the roadmap of the applications as such. What happens is that if you have a particular application which is running on premise, I'll just give you an example. All right. So if your application is running into the production UAT quality test on data center, you may not keep the services, you will always keep the services on for UAT quality dev test, even if they are using only say for say 5 hours or 2 hours in a day. But you keep the server on, right? But
Right.
it is not necessary on the cloud as such. The cloud application needs to actually, cloud is a construct wherein you pay as per as you consume as such. So if any particular services that is not required, it can be turned off and with the script that are available. So major pitfall is that if you come with the mindset that you are going to operate cloud as same as the data center is, and that's where the customer have seen the escalation in terms of the cost. Please, we need to customers need to appreciate that cloud is a construct, is actually a fully scalable agile. It allows you to do the innovation as such. You don't require a particular I have seen customers provisioning a huge virtual machine and blocking the resources, wherein when the server utilization or that particular VM utilization is hardly touching 20%, 13%, which is not required on the cloud. Cloud is a scalable network. So actually, you should actually
Right.
use it as much as, as optimized as possible, and let whenever the demand or whenever that application requires the additional resources, let it scale automatically. That's where we do have the horizontal scaling mechanism that is available on cloud as by default itself. So the mindset needs to change. The application, how they look at the applications need to change. And if that applications need the assessment in terms of refactoring, by which that application comes out of the shackles and ensure that the business requirements are met in a different fashion, the customers get those particular aspects associated with the innovation. That means they can actually try out the new formats, be it application as a code, or be it application deployment as containers. You can test it out very quickly, and that's the benefit that cloud offers for the innovation. So so in short, if the customers come with the mindset, there will be a cost escalation, or similar as your data center. But if customer comes and learns the cloud skills, what actually cloud provides the benefit, if they have that particular mindset, we have showcased multiple customers with a significant cost reduction if they if they had continued that application on premises. I hope I've
Right.
answered the question.
Thank you so much for that, Jayant. And Mr. Reddy, I hope that answered your question too. All right. Now, the next question I have is for Pushpendra, and this is about the downtime. Now, Forrester report says that 56% of the organizations fear downtime during migrations. Can you tell me some of the things that Tata Communications does? What do you bring with respect to your expertise to help overcome these challenges?
Yes, and when we also work closely with the large customers which are deployed on premises, and when we talk about the migration approach or providing the AWS kind of an infrastructure, they always ask this question. They always ask us what is going to happen, and what is going to be the downtime which will be required, and which is the most important thing for any organization. So when we work on such requirements, so there are few important things which are required. The first is pre-migration assessment, right? We need to understand what is currently running on premises, how it is structured today, what all are the application and the workloads, and accordingly we create the plan. And this plan has to be created in a way that there are multiple steps and stages, right? So that we can minimize the downtime. and it is completely bespoke solution, or the solution according to the customer requirement or workload that we create, and we explain it to the customer that these are the stage and steps that we are going to take, just to ensure that this is going to be the cutover time or minimizing the downtime. If we need to work on kind of a hybrid solutions, just to ensure minimum downtime, we create that also. And that's what I said, that our orchestration supports there, wherein you can put some of the workload on the dedicated component on premises, and then we start migrating it on AWS infrastructure or on the cloud, so that we can minimize. And these are all important things that we do. Also, the network and connectivity is one important ask that we see optimize it properly, and our managed services and support and the tools that we use from AWS ensure that there's a near zero downtime and or a optimized downtime for the customers.
Got it. Thank you. All right. We are running close to the end of the webinar. So, Jayant, very quick question for you. Now, when you're considering migrating your VMware workloads to AWS, how do you decide which migration strategy you should adopt? Should you rehost, replatform, refactor, etc.? How can you help your customers make this choice?
Absolutely, and this is a very pertinent question. That's where I was showcasing the capability in terms of the pre-assessment before even we start the migration. This is very important step, and that's where I would like to urge all you are here on this particular webinar to register yourself with Tata Communications for this particular assessment, so that you can actually do a detailed analysis, as Pushpinder was saying, whether that application can be refactor, rehost, or for that matter, retired itself. Some of the applications which are like a managed services, we are offering it. Why do you need the same services which needs to come to AWS as such? So some of these applications, some of these associated applications can be retired. Some of the applications can be refactored. Some of the applications which are monolith, which cannot be changed, a legacy application can be rehosted. So this is where Tata Communications comes into the picture, do the detailed analysis with the AWS tool, and provides a complete detailed analysis report before even the migration starts. And that's where the key of the success of any migration or modernization is the pre-assessment. And that's where I would like to urge every single customer to opt for this particular assessment before you even consider the migration and modernization.
Got it, Jan. Thanks for that. All right, now, folks, we have another poll for you, really small poll. So can I have my team please bring up the third poll question for our audience? All right, would you be interested in customized migration plan that aligns with your organization's modernization strategy? Yes, not sure, or no, no thanks, we don't need it at this point in time. Right. And Pushpendra, why did we await for our attendees to answer that question? Can I also ask you, when it comes to the security and the compliance part of it, that's another one, main worry point for our customers. What would you have to say out there? What does Tatacom bring to the table when it comes to security and compliance?
All right. So, as Jayant was talking about, 300 plus security features which are available, within AWS. So, if customer needs security for the infrastructure of the platform, it is available with AWS. And we work very closely with the customer to inform him that these are the security feature functionality which is required for your workload that you are currently using. On top of it, data security and compliances, if you talk about during a migration, it requires a comprehensive approach, which includes, as Jayant was also talking about, the pre-migration preparation, post-migration phases, secure migration, execution, and post-migration security and compliances that we need to take care of. So all of this is pretty important for the customers, and that's where Tata Communications work closely with AWS and the customers to ensure that the requirements are met.
All right, thank you so much for that, Pushpendra. All right, folks, I think that brings us to the end of today's webinar. That's all we have for you today. Do remember, we have a feedback form as soon as you exit the webinar. We request you to please sign up on that feedback form. It's very essential to us. And thank you so much again Pushpendra, and thank you so much, Jayant, for sharing your best practices and what your respective companies bring to the table. That's all we have for you today. You guys have a great evening ahead.